Excellent.
Good.
Good evening, everyone. I'm
Good
so
evening.
excited that you're going ahead with this new journey. And as Captain said, we need to ensure that you're going to be safe in this travel. So I thought that whenever we go traveling, there are some travel safety tips that you have to keep in mind. And I thought I would share that with you when you're going ahead with this excellent voyage to live, to laugh, to love, and to learn. That's the main thing, to learn and keep our neurons excited all the time. So travel safe, and what that kind of tells us, T tells us about that you need to talk to a doctor. Whenever you go traveling, always first talk to a doctor. Your doctor knows what are your needs and what could be your travel needs while you're traveling to the place you're traveling. Okay, so that's first thing that you have to do. Talk to your doctor and tell him that you're going to travel. Is there anything special that you have to do when you're going to a particular place that you're going to do? And tell him what all things, what all activities, is an adventure trip, or you're going to meet family, or what you're going to do, how long you'll be there. The other thing T also reminds us about a travel insurance. Don't forget about your travel insurance because healthcare costs in another country could be quite catastrophic. So have a travel insurance that covers up in case there is any kind of a healthcare need that you have at that place. R of travel tells us to rest well. Our life is quite sedentary sometimes, and suddenly when we're traveling, we want to see 5, 6 points at that place, and we go from one place to the other place, and we overexert ourselves. That can cause a problem. It's okay not to see one point rather than make that point the last point you've ever seen. So don't exert yourself. Rest well. Very important to understand that don't overexert and rest well. R tells us about resting well. A tells us always remain hydrated. So take your water along with you and drink water all the time. Keep yourself hydrated because we may not be used to going and staying in the sun for so long. But when you go traveling, we are in the sun for long. We sweat a lot. We need more water than we normally drink. So keep your water with you so that you can always be hydrated. V tells us about vaccinate and take your medication. So there are certain places that you have to go take your vaccines. If you're going to Africa, for example, the yellow vaccine. If you're going to Pakistan, for example, you need to take your polio vaccine. So keep your vaccines, take your vaccine before you go in case you have to protect yourself against certain diseases. Speak to your doctor about the medications. If you're taking any medication, take a good stock of medication. Take a prescription with you because sometimes at the airports they may just ask you for a prescription if you're carrying these medications. So speak to a doctor again, take a prescription and take your medications with you so that you can take it when you go and you don't miss on your medications. E of travel tells us to eat wisely. Many of these diseases that travelers get are due to eating unhealthy food or eating from the roadside. A lot of these roadsides food items look very enticing sometimes, but they may not be healthy and they may not use the right kind of water. So depending on where you're going, be very careful of what you're eating. So eat wisely is the message for you. And L of travel tells us to locate the medical facilities. Whenever you go into a place, now just make sure you can now Google and find out which are the healthcare facilities that are there, or at least if you're going to family, make sure that they know where you could go in case there is any need of that kind. So that's travel. Safe tells us reminds us you always need to stretch yourself and move. Don't sit, especially if you're going on long flights. Don't sit all the time. Move your legs because deep vein thrombosis is one problem that people have because they're sitting for a long time, and that can cause problems. So move and stretch yourself. That will keep you healthy. A tells you to avoid extreme weathers, whether it's extremely cold or extremely hot. Be very careful about that. Dress appropriately so that you can deal with the and deal with the heat. F, especially for seniors, fall prevention. Make sure that your shoes when you're traveling because you want to prevent falls. Be careful when you're climbing up stairs. Be careful when you're going on escalators, which you're not used to climbing, going on escalators. There are falls that take place over there. So be a little careful. Be aware of the fact that falls, you need to prevent falls at all times. And E of safe tells us that you need to have an emergency contact. Keep your contact with you. If you're traveling alone, keep your contacts with you so that if anyone needs to get help or inform anyone, they need to know who to inform. So enjoy your journey on the Memory Cafe. Every time you travel safe. And remember what we told you about traveling safe. Enjoy yourselves. Bon voyage.